We are going to work on using the distributive property to simplify some expressions. We're going to start with our expression in word format and use the hints within the words to come up with our expression that we will then use the distributive property for. So we have 4 times the sum of a number and 6. So we have our word 4 times. This is going to indicate that we've got some multiplication that needs to take place. Okay? Then we also have the sum, which means adding, of a number and 6. So the sum goes with this number and 6. So that tells us that we do need to have our variable plus 6 because we have our sum. The sum of this number and 6 will then be multiplied by 4. This looks like this. 4 times the sum of a number plus 6. Our sum of a number plus 6 times 4. Now we want to use the distributive property to simplify this. Okay? Remember, our distributive property states that we can take the outside term and multiply it by each inside term, which means that we will need to say 4 times x and 4 times 6. So we're going to have 4 times x shown here as 4x. Notice that I brought my plus sign down. And then we have 4 times 6. I have multiplied each inside term, the x and the 6, by the outside term. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 6 is 24. At this point, we are finished. We have no like terms, so we stop. There is nothing else we can do with this expression. We have simplified it as far as we can to get 4x plus 24. Let's look at another example. 2 times the sum of a number and 7. So again, our 2 times shows us that we are going to use multiplication. And then we have the sum, which means adding, of a number and 7. Again, the sum of a number and 7 will be multiplied by the 2. This looks like this. So we have 2 times the sum of a number and 7. Now we want to simplify by using the distributive property. So we will distribute this 2 to the x and the 7. Notice this time that I have not written down the middle step of 2 and x plus 2 times 7, but rather just went ahead and wrote on the board that 2 times x is 2x plus 2 times 7 is 14. And we are now finished simplifying this expression. Our next example, 4 times the sum of 3 and twice a number. So this one's a little more complex. We have 4 times, which again is going to tell us that we need to multiply. And then we see the sum, which is adding. However, we also see twice a number and our 3. Okay? If we have twice a number, remember n is our variable for our number, and we have twice that. Twice that means we have 2 times the number, which means it can be written like this, 2n. 2 times the number, or twice the number. So the way this would look, we have the sum of 3 and twice a number, so we still need to include our 3, and it was the sum of. So the sum of 3 and twice a number multiplied by 4. On the next slide, I'm going to rewrite this. So we have 4 times the sum of 3 and twice a number. So we have twice a number plus 3. We have 4 times the sum of twice a number and 3. We're going to use the distributive property to simplify this expression. The first step, of course, is to multiply the outside term, your 4, by your each inside term. So we're going to say 4 times 2n, 4 times 2n, plus 4 times 3. So 4 times 2n is 8n, plus 4 times 3 is 12. We now have addition of unlike terms, so we must stop. We are now finished simplifying this expression.